So today I just want to do the laundry, but I thought I might as well just do a Q&A so you guys can fold laundry with me while I answer some questions and I asked on Instagram. So let's just get to talking. All right, planning for a baby girl soon? So me and Matt decided, well, God willing, that we would wait a little bit between now and when we have our next baby. So I feel like we kind of had two babies back to back, which I love. And yeah, so we're definitely gonna take a little break, probably a few years in between, not in a rush right now. I love the dynamic of having two boys. I think it's perfect. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely wanted, like, I feel like a lot of moms just like want their little girl and stuff, so I was like, oh, I would love to have a little girl next, but I ended up getting a boy, and I cannot tell you how much happier I am that I have a boy, because now I have two boys. And they're already showing signs that they're just gonna be the best of friends. And I honestly love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not just saying that, but I'm so grateful. Eventually, I do really want a girl. Who knows if that'll be our destiny, but that's something I would definitely love. But definitely taking a break, few years, just because having babies back to back was a lot, and I just want to be able to like focus on them too, and it's perfect because they, hang out with each other, so that kind of gives us space as well. Yeah, I feel like I took a long time to answer that question, but next one. How's Matt doing mentally? So I'm also going to let you know that I'm going to answer all these questions super raw and real and honestly, and later if I decide I want to take it out, I'll just take it out, but in the meantime, I'll just leave everything in. So Matt's mental health is doing so much better. We actually decided to experiment filming on both of our own channels, which is why I'm like filming this for my channel right now, and Matt's trying something on his own channel, because mentally we just both want to be able to create things that make us happy and that we want to do for our own channel. But we've made so many changes, and he's really been doing a really good job working on his mental health, like seeking help, reconnecting with just doing really good things in his life, and I'm so proud of him. I mean, it definitely has not been easy, but I'm so proud of him because he's on a really good path right now. Like, the trajectory is definitely like this, so very happy about that. And it's still an ongoing battle, but it's definitely going uphill right now, so I'm very happy about that. So thank you for asking. Next question. When's the last time you guys went on a date? Ooh, so we were supposed to go out on Valentine's Day. I don't know if that counts, but we had plans. I had actually made a reservation because I knew for Valentine's Day every year we make the mistake of like not making reservations early enough on time, and on the day of, obviously everything's booked. So this year I actually made a reservation for Ruth Chris. If you saw in our video, you see that we had like $350 worth of gift cards in Ruth Chris from someone who gave it to us over the past 2 years, which is awesome and so nice and generous. But we had plans to go there. I made reservations a month ahead, and then when the day was approaching, the caretakers that were going to watch our babies actually couldn't end up going to watch our babies, so we ended up spending a night in, which is fine. Like, I really wasn't that upset. And it is just Valentine's Day. It's just another day. So probably was good that we didn't go on such a busy day anyways. So honestly, before that, I can't really recall a time that me and Matt went on a date for no occasion, if I'm being honest. Like, it's kind of hard to do that when you have like kids, and that's something that we definitely want to improve, is like a date night, either whether it's weekly or monthly. That's an area that we have yet to improve, because of course we'll do it when we have birthdays to celebrate or occasions like Valentine's Day, but I feel like I want to get used to just doing it for no occasion, just for us, So that's something that I honestly can't even tell you the last time we went on with it, for no reason, you know what I mean? So that is a great reminder, so thank you for asking me that. How long have you and Matt been together? So we met met in 2013, I believe, and we started dating in 2014. So that is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 9 years. Oh my gosh. So next year we'll have been together for 10 years, which is freaking amazing. Like, I love that. Obviously my longest relationship. And it's just crazy to think, like, because, like, our channel is actually as old as our relationship is. But we've been married since sorry, it's getting really bright. 2019. So, married for 21, 22, 23, 4 years. Well, I guess going on to 4 years. And together for 9. Was it a tough transition when becoming a first-time mom? So yes, and I have a lot of reasons why it was tough. I found out I was pregnant in the beginning of the pandemic, so we definitely had a C baby. I don't know if I can say the word or not, but yeah, so he's a pandemic baby. And so at the time it was like at its peak of like people having to quarantine and everything like that. So we had literally zero help. And I know that's common. I don't want to sit here and complain, but that's honestly why it was so difficult, is because we had no help. Just because we felt safer just like not leaving or anyone like coming into contact. So that was really challenging. So like, not only is it challenging being a first time mom, but it's really challenging when you have zero help around you. Like, so anyone that's in that boat, even not in a pandemic, like, props to you, because that is so difficult. But it was really tough because I didn't know a lot of things, and yeah, I was just really struggling with postpartum pain, like the physical pain of it. I didn't really I had the baby blues, I think, but I didn't have the postpartum depression, thankfully. I know that's something that can be really common, but yeah, other than that though, it was really tough, honestly. But somehow I forgot about it and wanted to do this all over again. So, but yeah, it was tough at first. Baby shower gift ideas. Oh my gosh. So if you guys don't know, my love language is gift giving. I just love gifts. Like, I was telling Matt the other day, I feel like the amount of times I think about like, when's the next like birthday or holiday that I can buy someone a gift. Like, I feel like my mind is just wired that way. I love gifts. I love being really personal about them. So for me, I really like to go the personal route. For baby showers, if it's a first time mom, I feel like the best thing you could do if you are a mom is giving them like a list of first time mom tips. You know, not in like, oh, I know it all, but just things that might be helpful. So that's like obviously an expensive, that's like a free gift right there. Just being able to like give them tips and everything. And then I like to be really cutesy. So something that I really love doing is making like personalized items. So like, for example, for one of my friends, I printed out a photo on a onesie. So like, if they are first time mom and they are pregnant and they have a dog, who the dog is usually their first baby, right? Just like print a picture of the dog on the onesie, just like a picture of the dog. And like, I don't know, I just feel like stuff like that is like really easy and cute. I didn't order anywhere. I actually do that at home because I have the right printer, and if you just get the right ink for sublimation printing, I don't know if anyone is familiar with that, but you do that, then you could do it on your own. And I have a Cricut machine too, which kind of helps cut it out and stuff. So you can make personalized onesies. Diapers are obviously always good. And then for me, something I really like to do is actually give a gift that's more dedicated to the mom herself. So like any postpartum care items, so like pads or just like anything like breast pump parts or like bras or any postpartum care things. Because I think that kind of gets missed a lot when you're doing baby shower gifts. Like, everything's for the baby. Obviously, that's like the most important. But it's kind of nice to also not forget about the mom. So just getting her like stuff that makes her happy too. And then always gotta add a book, like one of your favorite baby books, and instead of writing them a card, write them a note in the book. So those are just my like first thought tips. I'm like all about gifts, to the point where I even thought about making a channel that was just dedicated to like gift giving and ideas and stuff. So let me know if you're interested in anything like that, because like it is truly a passion of mine. And I don't know. I just always have been like that ever since I was little. I can remember always like making goodie bags for everyone when I was in like 2nd grade for the holidays, like on my own accord. That's just stuff I love doing. Is having 2 kids harder or easier than you thought? So I would say I think it's easier than I thought. I don't know if that's like a popular opinion. I remember when I was pregnant, with Sam, I would go around asking all the people that I knew had 2 or more kids, literally asking all of them, like, is it harder or easier? Like the 0 to 1 transition, like, so no kids to becoming a parent for the first time, or is it harder having 1 kid and going to 2 kids? And, you know, I got a lot of mixed responses, but in my personal opinion, I think it is easier. I think there will never be anything as difficult as having no kids to having 1 kid. I think that's like the hardest ever. I personally think even if you have like 0 to 1, going from 0 to 1 kid versus like 6 to 7 kids, I literally think 0 to 1 will always be the hardest transition, because no matter how much you learn, no matter if you have younger siblings or not, like how much you babysit, nothing will ever prepare you like to the T of being a parent. Like it's so hard. You learn on the go a lot of the times. It's just so challenging. Like you're really in the thick of it, and especially if you have no help. So that's what I feel like. There's nothing harder than that, which is why I think 1 to 2 kids was not as hard. I feel like you kind of been to the rodeo before, and although kids, even if you have the same set of parents with more than 1 kid and they could be polar opposites, it's still, you've still been through the whole, you know, newborn baby phase, like swaddling, pumping, breastfeeding, formula. I mean, you've just been through it before. So I feel like it's kind of it comes a little bit easier, you know, when you're doing it the second time around. And yeah, there's a lot of challenges that come with that, like being having a toddler maybe and like a baby and having to split the attention and stuff, which I definitely dealt with that, but it's still easier. And now that Sam is like 8 months, he's literally 8 months today, I personally feel that it's gotten way easier, because now my Jerry really likes to play with him, even though he's still so little. So yeah, I think it's easier. That was a really long way of saying that. What are you most grateful for these days? That's a really good question. Honestly, something I'm really, really grateful for is just really good health. Praise God, honestly. Like, you know when like you go to like the doctors and they say like, oh, do you have any history of this or that? Like you have to say yes or no about any like conditions and health and stuff. I'm always saying like no, 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 no. And every time I'm asked those questions, I'm realizing how just blessed and grateful I am to not have had any complications for myself and my kids. Like, honestly, that's something I'm grateful for. And I thank God for that every day. I really do. That's something that I'm really conscious about, and something I do not like to take for granted, because that's something that I feel really passionate about, like making sure I'm not taking things for granted. Like good health and just protection, the safety and health, like are really important to me. Like almost to the point, like I hope it's not a superstitious prayer, but every single night, not a day goes by where I do not pray for safety, health, and protection over my kids, my husband, my family. I pray for that every single night, and I'm very aware that I'm so blessed to even be in that position to be healthy and everything. So that is something I've been really grateful for lately, is just healthy kids, healthy husband, healthy life. You know what I mean? Can always be working on it, but I'm just so grateful for that. So thank you for asking that question. I think that's a great question. Most embarrassing thing that's happened to you? That's such a hard question. I feel like whenever someone asks, like, what's the most embarrassing that's ever happened to you? Like, I don't really know the answer. I'm gonna have to get back on that one, but off the top of my head, I can just think of like when I was it middle school or high school, that I was wearing shorts and I leaked all over my seat, like my period. Like, and I remember like these 2 guys, I was sitting next to them and they were like, ooh, like but they were like very mature about it. They weren't like, ew, so it wasn't that embarrassing. Luckily I had something to tie around my waist, but I'm gonna have to really think about that one again, because I'm sure there's a lot more embarrassing things that have happened to me than that. What if I can't find someone to trust in a relationship? Okay, so I wouldn't say I'm like the strongest with advice. That's not really my bag. I know some people are really good, but all I can say is if you feel like you can't trust someone, and if it's because of like a past relationship where they made you not, what is the word I'm looking for? You lost their trust and because of something they did. The first thing I want to say is like give everyone a new chance and opportunity, and don't ever compare them to like an ex or anyone that misplaced your trust. But I am a firm believer. It's gonna sound so crazy that no one is trustworthy like in this life. Like, okay, I don't want to. That sounds really bad, but like there's no single person, even you and me, that is 100% trustworthy of anything. Like, as trustworthy as I hope to be and strive to be, there's places where I'm going to fail because I'm human. So like, I feel like to put pressure on someone that they, like, what if they misplace my trust, or like, what if I don't trust them because they did one thing, you know what I mean? Now, of course, there's always exceptions and levels of trustworthiness and everything. I'm not talking about that. I just mean like, you have to be kind of give grace in the sense of like, everyone is going to disappoint you in life at some point, even if they don't mean to. So I wouldn't like focus too much on like, what if there's someone that I can't trust? But I do think it's still important to find someone, like if you have a list of people that you want to go for, or like characteristic traits. Yeah, I think it's important to want to go for someone who's trustworthy for sure, because that's important. But just have grace for everyone. But at the same time, like you'll know if someone's more trustworthy, or if that's something that's really important to them right off the bat. You know, I feel like, you know that saying, realize. It's kind of true. But yeah, I just grace, and also, but just like still have those standards for yourself, because it's really important to be with someone who's trustworthy, or at least strives to be trustworthy. I feel like as long as you're doing your best, everyone's just trying their best. Well, not everyone, but if you know that they are at least trying their best, improving themselves when they make a mistake and they're sorry. Sorry to me means you promise to try to never do it again. Again, people are imperfect, so you can't promise. I guess you can, but you know, we fail. So it's like, as long as you know someone's trying their best to like commit to like the promise they made, and they say sorry and they mean it through their actions, then I think it's okay to like give them another chance, or just like look past that. I don't even know if I like answer that question, but that's just what in my mind. Okay, any travel plans for this year? So yes, there's gonna be one, definitely, that's just gonna be for fun, like, but me and Matt honestly haven't really been able to travel a lot because of having kids for the past like 2 years. So finally we're going back into the grind of being able to travel for work, but every time we travel for work, we always try to fit in pleasure for that, so like mix it up. So I'm really excited because this is the first time in 2 years that we're really going to be able to take advantage of that again. And on top of that, I just really want to find a place that we can travel to that's not too much. Like, of course, I feel like the big one for families is like Disney, you know what I mean? But like, I don't personally think that that's that realistic, although I know a lot of people that do it with like babies, newborns and stuff, but I just like want to be able to go somewhere where like it's like everyone can enjoy everything at once. So like, I think when our kids are older, we'll definitely take them to Disney, but right now I just don't think it's the move for us. But I still really want to do something that's like for the kids and as a family. Like, we know that we want to do something, we just have no idea where yet. That might be something that's kind of more local and not too far away, but definitely consider flying a plane, because we haven't done that as a family yet, so that's something I'm definitely considering. Yeah. Do you still want a lot of kids? Yes. So obviously, even if I want like a ton of kids, like I don't think 6 or 7 is in the cards. I know I always talk about that, but like, I have to be fair to what Matt wants to, and I just don't know if 6 is it. But like, after having one, and even though it was kind of hard, like that is not something where it made me want less. Like, I still want a lot of kids. But, like, I'm so totally cool with, like, taking a break in between having kids and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I still want a lot of kids. But if we have to, like, have less than what I originally wanted, like, you know, compromise and you can focus on the kids that you have. So that doesn't upset me too much. But, yeah, just wanting, the fact of wanting kids, yes, I still want a lot of kids. Do you ever plan to take your children to South Korea? Yes, like, definitely would love to do that. Oh my goodness. Like, I have never been to South Korea. So, like, the first time I go will have to be with, like, my family or just someone, you know, I mean, with my family, you know, someone that's been to Korea, especially my parents. So I would need to, like, know what we're doing, because I would just feel like I'm a lost puppy in there. But obviously Matt hasn't been to South Korea either. So I feel like it'd be really, really cool to, like, experience that as a family. My biggest fear is flying for that long with 2 kids. So I have no idea how soon that will be, but I don't know, maybe maybe within the next, like, 2-3 years, maybe we can do that, and that would be really cool, because we do have family that lives there. So, like, it's not like we wouldn't have anything to do. And I don't know, I feel like that'd be a really, really dope experience for sure. I really, really want to do that. How do you maintain your relationship with God? That is a great question, because I'm still trying to learn how to do that. But one of the things that I know I cannot fall short on, and I believe this for anyone that is a believer, is being in the Word. Because the Word, I mean, the Bible, like, I know it's obvious, but, like, if it's God breathed and that's what He gave to us as His way of communication to us, and, like, stories of what's happened where God intervened and everything, like, and what Jesus did, like, we cannot take that for granted. That's, like, huge. Like, it's really something I don't think I understand, like, how special that is to have, like, God's word, you know what I mean? And I really need to take advantage of that. And that's something recently that I've really been trying to do, is be in my Bible every day. And I think for me, what I'm doing lately is meditating more on a verse rather than trying to get through chapter to chapter, because I used to, like, try to do a chapter a day or do several chapters, and just to, like, get through it and just to say that I read it, but nothing, it would go in one ear out the other type of thing. Like, I wouldn't fully grasp it. So right now I'm trying to learn more about wisdom. So I am in the book of Proverbs. So something I really did was, like, for a week, I would just meditate on Proverbs 3. And look, listen, I'm never the type to learn verses and memorize them and repeat them or know where something is cited. Like, that is not me. So I really challenged myself to, like, really learn a verse that meant a lot to me, or one that I really wanted to study. So I'm going to test myself right now and repeat Proverbs 3. I believe it is Proverbs 3, either 5 through... Wow, I'm already forgetting what verse it is. I think it's Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 16. I'm so off. I'm going to put it on the screen. But that one is, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun all evil, because this will bring health to your bones and nourishment to your body. Or nourishment to your body and health to your bones. I mix it up, but I understand the gist of it. So that's, like, an example of a Bible verse that I just really have been trying to, like, soak in. Like, okay, you can understand trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. But what does that really mean? Like, what does it really look like to trust in the Lord with all your heart? Like, do you realize that means no matter what it is that God is doing in your life, you have to trust Him in everything, every single thing. Like, what does it mean to do something with all your heart? And basically means all your passion, all your might, all your strength. So even if you don't understand something, you're still trusting and you're pushing. So, like, I had to, like, really let that soak in, and I'm still kind of letting that soak in as we're speaking. But, you know, do not be wise in your own eyes. How many times do we think that we're doing the best thing? Like, we have the best advice, we're making the best decisions, like, we're trying to do things in our own strength. You know what I mean? So I'm really trying to, like, learn verses, like, the real meaning of them, and not just, like, read it just to say that I read it, if that makes sense. All right. What's your favorite thing about being a mom? So I really, really love being a mom. I don't know if it's something I like dreamt of for a long time, but it's just something that feels really right. Like I just love being in a place of like being able, oh man, the love that you, so I'm gonna mention this, like my dog was like my everything, like he's still alive. He was my everything, my first baby and everything, and I really thought like he was my baby, like I couldn't love anyone more than him and everything. But man, when you have a kid, like that, it doesn't even compare. Like the love that you have for your child is out of this world, and it's just an amazing love. And when you try to think of it in the perspective of like, oh wow, like Jesus loves us this much, God loves us this much, what like God had like sacrificed his own son, it's just crazy to think of it in that perspective. I feel like it's the best way to really understand how much God loves us, even though he loves us way more than the amount we love our kids, which is like insanity to me. But I love it. I wouldn't trade this for anything. I really, really love being a mom and everything that comes with it. And I think something I've really been enjoying is connecting with other new moms, older moms, recent moms, moms to be. Like that is like one of my favorite things, because you can like relate to people in a different level, and just like you just get it, you know what I mean? And all the hardships are totally worth it. Like even though it's really hard to be a new parent, like it's so worth it. I mean, I know it's so oversaid and everyone hears it, like, but it just really is. And I'm just really trying to savor these moments, because everyone talks about how fast it goes by, and it definitely does. But I'm not one to like look back at and be like, oh my gosh, I miss when they were newborn and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I could with Sam, because I'm already starting to like be sad that he's growing up, but which I never really understood in the past. But yeah, I love being a mom, and I just think it's one of the greatest gifts ever, being a parent. What's the greatest advice you can give for living with your fiance for the first time? So me and Matt didn't live with each other until we were married. So I don't know if that's like totally different. But in general, anytime you're about to live with someone for the first time, it's gonna be a little bit of a shock. Like going over their house all the time and stuff is so different than living with each other, because like, you understand you guys have completely two different lifestyle or living styles that you grew up with, like the way their parents raised them versus the way your parents raised you, and then like trying to combine those two styles. Like there's not such a thing as anyone matching up perfectly like their living styles. I mean, even if you guys are both clean or messy, like those are all things that can be really difficult. So I guess just at least going in with the understanding of having grace for them, and hopefully that they have grace for you, so that you know that you guys are going to have different styles and ways of doing things, but like the bickering over like how they wash the dishes or how often you guys do laundry or like chores and everything, like it's not worth getting into fights over. Like just always remember you're on the same team, and maybe establish those chore type things and things that you don't like to do early on before you move in, so that there's already an understanding. But honestly, when you live with someone, there's going to be a lot of things that come up that are going to irk you or like bother you, or things that you didn't really realize. And don't get in the trap of thinking like, oh, this isn't going to work out, because like it's going to be hard no matter who you, like let's just say like you guys separate and stuff, and then you move on to the next, and then you know you want to move in with them. Like it's just gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be hard no matter what. No matter who you move in with, it's going to be hard no matter what. So like who do you choose to like live and have life be hard with? I know it sounds so corny and cliche, but I mean it is true. But like now that it's been, I mean we're still so early in our marriage years, like how long we've been married, but like it's obviously way easier now than it was in the beginning, like trying to figure out like what chores people do, and like our things that we like to do on our own versus together. You know, those are just all things that are really important to communicate in the beginning. So that's my advice for that. What degree did you guys graduate with, and would you like to go back to school? So Matt and I both graduated with film degrees. It was called Electronic Media and Film. We graduated from Towson University, and I really enjoyed it. Instead of having like final exams where you would have to like write a paper or something, like our final exams were always making a movie or making a video. That's really fun. I want to go back to school? I don't want to go back to school, although me and Matt always reminisce over our time in school, like in college, because honestly, I don't know that college is for everyone, and I'm not going to push it on our kids or anything like that, but college was such a fun time. Like, I know that not everyone has that experience, but for me personally and for Matt too, college was a blast. Like, that's like the only time in your life where you will get like I feel like true freedom, but being surrounded by like friends. Like, because after you graduate, you have to make, this sounds so bad, but you have to make efforts to see your friends now because everyone is on to their own lives and it's just harder to meet up. But like when you're in college, you wake up and you get to just like see your friends all the time. Like, you're an adult, but you have so much freedom. Like, you really don't, your responsibilities aren't as heavy, you know what I mean? You're just going to class and doing your work and hanging out. So like, I freaking loved college, man. Like, it was some of the hardest times in my life and some of the best times in my life. But I would not change a single thing because it led me to Matt. And we met when I was about a junior, and we were both in like this film club. It was just amazing. I had so much fun, guys. Like, I reminisce about it all the time, especially with Matt. And we have plans to like go visit Towson again and just like go on a date. I don't know like when or how we'll be able to do that, but like, oh yeah, that question about a date, maybe we'll just have a date on campus. But I really enjoyed it. See, I'm just like cheesing right now because like those were my early like honeymoon phase stages with Matt. Always got to see my friends, like experienced so many new things, and like I loved my major. I loved the people in my major. I loved my professors. Like, I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed doing work, and I really liked to have good relationships with my professors, and I wasn't the type to like hate on professors or anything. I was just like, if I'm gonna be here, I might as well make the most of it and embrace it. So I just had such a good time, and I want to go back. I don't even think that was the question, but as I said, would you go back? I wouldn't go back to school just for the sake of it, but sometimes there are classes where I'm like, hey, I wonder if I could just like sit in and like learn, just to like learn. Yeah, I don't know, but I had a good time. Tips on potty training. Son turns 2. Okay, so we just actually got through potty training, and I did a course through Big Little Feelings, and it was great because like the whole idea is that they're supposed to be trained within 3 days of if you want to train your kid within 3 days. But like the whole point behind the course is that you have to first be committed that you're gonna do it. So like if you're gonna commit to potty training, like I personally feel like it's harder to do that over time because it can get confusing if you're not like really like looking at your kid when they make accidents or when they have accidents in public or at home. But again, look at Big Little Feelings, and their potty training course was like really, really helpful, had a lot of good tips, and it's just a lot of videos that you have to watch, but they're all really important. And yeah, I would recommend that if you're potty training. It's not fun, but it feels really good when they're able to like master a skill. So you can do it. Whew, I feel like I've been talking a lot, and I'm putting all this stuff that I have to hang here, which is why it looks like that. But I'm getting close to the finish line, I think. Okay, into any new hobbies nowadays. I feel like I'm not really a hobby person. Like, something that I really used to enjoy was just like, well, something I always will enjoy is arts and crafts and everything. But I feel like I'm not the type of person to just do, this is kind of bad, something I don't really love myself. I'm not the type of person that to just like do something just for the sake of doing it. I feel like there always has to be a purpose behind it. So I love arts and crafts, but I feel like I won't do it unless if like I'm making something for someone, or it's like for some sort of like event that I have to make something, or it's a gift. Like, I just feel like I can't get myself to just make just for the sake of it. So that's definitely something that I don't love, but I still nonetheless love arts and crafts. And on that note, I just love anything like art related. Like, I do like painting sometimes, interior design, but like I realize I'm not really good at like mature looking interior decoration. I feel like I'm really good at like kids like nurseries and stuff, to the point, I mean, I guess you guys saw my how I designed the nursery and everything. So like I even thought about like, what if I have my own segment on like my personal channel or something where like I would design people's nurseries for them. It could be like a collaboration. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that. I feel like I really enjoy that, but I feel like it's just easier to do that for your own kids, and I don't know if I would have the vision for other people's kids, or like, I don't know. That's something I would have to explore. But yeah, I'm not really a hobbies person, but like I feel like, and then like learning new hobbies. Oh, I guess one of the newer hobbies that I've gotten into is reading books. So that also, with like reading books, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I feel like it's a waste if I'm reading a book just for pleasure. Like if it's like a fiction book, I don't do that. I only read books that are like for growth, like self-growth, and I feel like 90% of the self-growth or self-help books that I read are Christian based, like by like in a God perspective. Like I just feel like I have to like fill my mind with like things to help better myself, and that's really, it's not true that you can't read like fiction. Like I wish I was more into it, but I'm just not. Even with TV shows, I'm not into anything fiction related. Well, I think I'm not, but then Matt will introduce something to me. Like he introduced All American and Cobra Kai to me, and Raising Dion we watched together. There were a few other shows that we watched that I loved, and they were fiction. I was so shocked, because that's something I would never watch on my own, but like when I watched it with him, I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is so good. But like, yeah, like, and it's not inspiring, but I feel like I only gravitate towards like reality TV shows because it's real life, you know. It's not like, I mean, they are probably acting, or it's probably scripted to some degree, but like I just like stuff that's more like that. So yeah, but that's a recent hobby that I've gotten into, is reading. I feel like all the years of my life I never really enjoyed reading up until now, and it just so happens to be a time in my life where I'm also starting to read the Bible more, which is really, really great use of my new enjoyment for reading. So that's something that's been kind of new, I guess. All right, we're getting close to the end. I feel like I'm getting a little bit distracted here, but I'm just going to skim to see if there's a few more questions. I don't even know if you guys have made it all the way up to this end. I don't know how much time has gone by, but I hope it's fun chatting. Let's see. What's your favorite date spot? So, another question about the date. I don't know if it's date spot, but a restaurant that I love is the Melting Pot. Oh my gosh. I love, or like even Hot Pot, like Urban Hot Pot. But I love the Melting Pot because of the chocolate. And speaking of, I've actually decided to like fast from chocolate and like sweets for Lent, if you will. I'm not necessarily someone that like does Lent every year, but I like the idea of it. I think it's really good to challenge yourself to give something up that you feel is keeping you from God. Okay, I don't want to say chocolate keeps me from God, but a certain point in my life, like all the time, I'd be like, I would never be able to eat chocolate. Like I would eat chocolate every day. This sounds so ridiculous, but it's just true. I would eat chocolate all the time, or sweets. I just really craved something. I would have such a sweet tooth, especially at night. And so I knew that it was kind of like becoming an idol in my life. I know it sounds so ridiculous, but it's just like seriously so true. Like I feel like I couldn't live without eating sweets or chocolate and everything. I would go for it, and I would just like overeat. And I would just be consuming way too much sugar, more sugar than is good for you. And I knew that was something in my spirit when I was really thinking about like, what do I want to give up? Like that was kind of like tugging at me like, oh no, I don't want to give it up. I don't have to. But that's something that I not want to say give up, but like I'm trying to fast from. And so far I've been successful at not eating the chocolate for almost like, it's been about a week now. I started before Lent because I was like, why do I have to wait for Lent to start? I'm gonna just start right now, and I'm gonna go strong for the 40 days. And I'm very proud of myself because I feel like every time I feel that craving, I try to pray about it, or something that Matt recommended that I'm trying to do is read the Bible. And I just think it's a really good practice, even if you don't believe in God or practice Lent. I think it's always a good practice to refrain from something that you feel like you can't live without, like if that's social media or coffee or a certain TV show or a certain food, or just like something that's bad for you that you know that you should give up. I think it's a really good practice in general for any person, no matter what belief system you believe in. Like I feel like that's such a great practice to just like give something up. And you know, my hope is once the 40 days is over, that I'm not gonna just go back to indulging myself. Like I pray that this is a pruning process of me learning how to like let go of stuff that I feel like control my life and everything, and I can still enjoy it once in a while but not be so attached to it or make it this idol in my life, if that makes sense. So I'm just really praying, because right now it is still a struggle. Like if I go to an event and there's like sweets there, always hands down going for the sweets. But now I've really am controlling myself. I think self-control is really a good thing. It's one of the fruits of the spirits, and I feel like it's one of, in my personal opinion, I feel like self-control might be one of the most important fruits that all humans need to practice, because if you have self-control over your anger, over your like impulse, like buying habits or eating habits, or like self-control when it comes to temptations that you might have, that might get you into bad situations, I feel like it can save you from so much negativity or like problems that could appear in your life. I feel like self-control is not talked enough about, but it is probably, in my opinion, the most important fruit of the spirit. So this has really tested my self-control, and it's been really hard. Like I even felt nauseous the other day. I was like curling up and I was like, I need chocolate. Like that's how bad it is. You know how people get headaches and stuff from not drinking coffee? Like, yeah, it's that bad. Like I was getting nauseous from not having some sugar. Like that is not okay. Like I should not be in that should not be a thing for me, but it is, unfortunately. So okay, I'm just kind of like touching things now. I've kind of folded things and everything. So I think this is about the end of it. If you guys enjoy this, please let me know, because I'm trying to figure out ways that I can be productive but also film at the same time. So if you enjoyed this folding laundry and girl chat, I guess, time with me, let me know, because I might even turn this into a series where like I clean after the kids go down, I clean and I chat, or you can just watch me do something. I don't know. Just trying to make use of my time, because sometimes I'm not always motivated. Me and Matt sometimes not always motivated to film and be like all energized and everything. Like there's stuff that needs to be done, like laundry. So please let me know if this is something you enjoy, because I would love to do it again. But thanks for watching if you made it to this end, and comment down below if you did, and any more questions that you might have, and I'll answer them. All right, talk to you later. TTYL. Bye.